First, let me thank our friends at Negri Electronics for hooking us up with this phone. Be sure to check them out at negrielectronics.com. So here is the Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini, and oddly has very similar specs, save for the screen size and resolution, to its gigantic brother, the Galaxy Mega. Let's go ahead and use our buffalo knife to cut this open, and it literally has a buffalo in it. I was just being cute. We'll go ahead and open this up, and I'll run through the specs and tell you what this guy has. I would not expect this to ever come to US shores, at least the Galaxy S3 Mini never did. So if you want to pick one of these guys up, your best bet is going to be unlocked, probably through our friends at Negri. So go ahead and pull off the plastic. We've got a 8GB version right here. Looks like there's one last little seal that needs to be cut, and we'll be all good. So this guy has a 4.3-inch screen with a very low resolution of 960 by 540, giving it a not so awesome PPI of 256, which is about half of what we see on most sort of higher end smartphones. So go ahead and get this out if we can. Boom. So there it is. The screen is QHD, and it's an AMOLED display. It looks so tiny compared to all the other phones we use, and it's funny we consider it tiny now. 4.3 inches used to be giant. Remember, you go back and look at the HTC Titan or the original Evo phones that seemed really large, and now seem really minuscule. It just goes to show what a few years can do for you. So push it off to the side for just a quick second and see what else we got in the box. Quick start guide for getting started quickly. I know some of you guys like to know what the model number is, so it's the GT19195. We've got a charge and sync cable. It's in white. It's kind of nice. You don't see white cables all that often. We've got, looks like an adapter for the power cable. So depending on what country you live in, you can have the right adapter. We've got earbuds. We've got headphones with a noise canceling mic and volume control on it. And we've got the battery, which is a 1900 milliamp hour. Fair, we'll pull it out, get that ready to be put into the phone. So this looks very similar to the Galaxy S4 as you'd expect, the phone that's called the Galaxy S4 Mini. We'll peel all this stuff off here for just a second. And to show you, let's bring in the Galaxy S4. And you can see that they look like big brother, little brother. 5-inch screen, obviously, versus the 4.3-inch. Very similar design languages on each. So let's walk through what we got. We got one big home button. It's definitely raised more than the S4, so really easy to feel. It's flanked by 2 capacitor buttons, a back and a menu button. Volume rocker up and down on the left-hand side. You've got some metal-esque accents. It's still plastic, but it does have a nice feel to it. Your power and lock button, charging and sync, noise-canceling mic, 3.5mm headset jack, some more noise-canceling mic. It looks like we also have the IR blaster. Let's go ahead and pull off the back. We'll pop in the battery. We'll run through the rest of the specs while this guy is booting up. It does take a micro SD card or SIM. I believe there are 2 versions available, one that supports LTE and a dual SIM model, which only has a port for HSPA+. We have the LTE model here, so you guys can decide which one you want. So we'll power this guy on, and while it's doing its thing, I'll walk you through the rest of the specs. So being powered by a 1.7 GHz dual-core processor, Android 4.2.2 at launch, 1.5 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of storage, but again, you can add it to that with an external card. The main camera on the back is 8 megapixel. I used to think it was sort of uncommon to have a 1.9 megapixel shooter up front, but Samsung's doing that on a lot of phones. Same camera again that we saw in the Mega. 802.11 A, B, G, and N. We don't have anything here for AC, Bluetooth 4.0. That 1900 milliamp hour battery that we talked about. It does have NFC, which is kind of nice. So from dimension standpoint, it's 124.6 meters, or 4.91 inches, by 61.3 millimeters, not meters, rather millimeters, 2.14 inches, 8.94 millimeters, or 0.35 inches, and it weighs 107 grams, or 3.77 ounces, depending on where you live. We'll skip through this here. You know, again, it really shows how far technology has come just over the span of a year here. The screen resolution would have looked fine about a year ago, but now it definitely looks a little bit pixelated. The AMOLED screen does make it look nice. The colors definitely pop, but definitely not one of the more high-res screens we've seen recently. We should be right into the operating system. So we got some of the S4 features here: S-Beam, voice control, easy mode, and adapt display. Go ahead and finish. One thing I want to see, obviously, is I want to see if it's got some of the touch features. You can hover over and that kind of stuff, air view and the rest. But it looks very S4-esque. Dual-core processor is plenty of power for most folks, so you shouldn't have any issues at all. Processor speed and 1.5 GB of RAM should be plenty. Let's go ahead and jump in, see what kind of apps are going to be stored here. Since this isn't a carrier phone, no real sort of carrier bloatware, but certainly Samsung's got a lot of Samsung proprietary stuff in it. Samsung's app, Samsung Hub, Watch On, their video and music store. You can see what else we got here. S-Translator, which is really cool. The seldom used S-Voice story album. I do love Samsung's deal with Dropbox, so 100 gigs of free storage is pretty freaking sweet, actually. Let's go into settings. We'll scroll, go to My Device, scroll down to the bottom, Motions and Gestures, Smart Screen, see what we got here. So palm control your device by touching the screen with your hand and motion. So that is here. Let's see what we got under Smart Screen. So screen stays on as long as you're looking at it, so that's kind of neat. If we go to connections, see what else we got here. NFC, SB, nearby devices, and screen mirroring. Of course, access for keys as well. Driving mode, sort of the rest of that stuff you would expect. Again, for comparisons, let's bring it in to a Galaxy S4. You can see the difference between these two guys. Again, screen's a little low resolution, but for most people, it's not going to be that big a deal. It looks a little bit low res, as you'd expect, but very serviceable and certainly easy enough to use. If you're looking for a lower cost phone, you want to get one unlocked, you don't want to be stuck on a 2-year contract, and you sort of want some of the Samsung look and feel, this might be a very good choice for you. Please give the video a thumbs up. We most definitely appreciate it. Check out our friends at negrielectronics.com. I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.